All right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I'm not even going to be like, oh, we just went to go see a little independent movie you guys have never heard of before. Ha ha, aren't I funny and clever? No, we just saw Endgame. We just saw Avengers Endgame. One of the, this is a defining moment in blockbuster filmmaking. It really is. This is our first reactions. And if you can't tell that that's a first reaction of how I feel about it, well, there you go. Of course, importantly, folks, this is going to be no spoilers. Dragon, would you? It's fair to say that like maybe a solid 80% of this movie is a spoiler.
That'd probably be a fair assessment. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
there is so much. Like, Dragon, my mind is reeling right now. I'll say that much. Like, I love the movie, and I'm not just being a Red Letter Media fanboy. I'm saying like, here's where I'm at right now, Dragon. Right now, it's like I love everything I saw. I thought it was just like the MCU just gets better and better at just making these storylines that just feel straight off the comic page, with all these characters crossing over with each other in more exciting, genuine ways that feel out of the comics. And I can't wait to see where they go with that in Phase 4. Dragon, the only thing I'm kind of miffed at with this, and I don't even consider it a complaint with the movie, is just like, my God, this is such a culmination of not just the Endgame, not just the Infinity War saga, but of literally everything that's come before. I mean, this movie, like, it adds context to movies that have come before it, and it's, oh man. And Dragon, of course, I just want to say, I am very happy for you about how one particular character ended up. You know which one I'm talking about.
yep.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. But yeah, coming out of it, Dragon. I mean, it was just a great ride. I wish I saw it in giant screen, Dragon. I'm jealous that you get to see it in giant screen tomorrow. I won't be able to until probably next week. But you know what? I saw it. It was an event. Like I said, this is definitely kind of I don't know, man. I'm just kind of riding a high on this thing. It's like they did so many things in this movie that I just never thought I'd see. I mean, it's just like I feel like this is the Avengers all over again, Dragon. I feel like this is like the true successor to the Avengers. It's like, Age of Ultron definitely had its problems. Infinity War was great, but Infinity War was more Thanos' movie than it was the Avengers movie. Without giving anything away, Thanos, he definitely has a role to play here. We saw that in the trailers, but this is way more of an Avengers movie than Infinity War. Is that fair to say without spoiling things, Dragon?
I'm sorry that it's more of an Avengers movie
This
than
is
it was.
more of an Avengers centric movie than Infinity War was.
Yes, that I'd
Because
agree with
Infinity
that.
War was way more Thanos centric.
Yes.
So with that in mind, Dragon, I mean, I think this movie is just like the ultimate culmination of just the Avengers and these characters. And I'm just like, oh, god damn. Oh, I am so happy I didn't get any of this spoiled, folks. Please don't get it spoiled for you. Please see this movie. I know it's hard to. Oh, what do you think, Dragon? What do you, Dragon? If you're gonna turn around and pull a me on this situation, I'm gonna be so upset.
It would give you a taste of your own medicine if I did that,
It
but
would.
no.
It would.
Okay, but no, I'm not gonna play your game. I'm gonna play my game. So, okay, folks, let me put it this way, all right? Well, without any spoilers whatsoever. You remember that scene in Pulp Fiction where they look in the suitcase, Jules and he buries people. You Jules, Jules, Vincent,
Yeah, yeah.
and of course Tim Roth and I guess Pumpkin or whoever she was. Anyway, remember the running thing with the suitcase. You look into it, it's like
Of
this
course.
beautiful thing that is just
Are
unseen.
you
But
saying
folks,
this movie is the suitcase?
this is what's in the suitcase. I it's a comparison, but I don't think it'd be far off. Again, that one has no answer, but I feel like I've seen the answer to Pulp Fiction after seeing this film. Folks, To keep it simple, the analogy I've been using, aside from the Pulp Fiction thing, which I honestly came up with just after seeing the movie, but the thing immediately after seeing the movie, the thing I had like all throughout the movie.
No, I mean, Dragon, honestly, I think you're on point with that analogy because there is shit in this movie. There is shit in this movie that it's just a sight to behold, and I never thought that I'd see it with my own two eyes. And so, with that in mind, the Marcellus Wallace suitcase definitely is an on-point comparison.
But beyond the suitcase, the other like actually Marvel related comparison, basically the Marvel related thing I can say about it is that you're absolutely right, Tegan, that Infinity War, basically the Russos did something magical. They kind of pulled the ultimate switcheroo that no one ever got ticked off. But I kind of mentioned this when Infinity War came out, but now I kind of seen the answer to it. Now we've seen kind of the quote-unquote part two of it all. That big switcheroo is that everyone went into Infinity War expecting Endgame, essentially. They expected, the big Avengers reunion movie. And we got, a movie led by Thanos. And that of course that was switch where no one was mad because again it was a really great idea and we got some really good stuff and we wanted more and again we kind of so in the end we kind of got that movie but it made us wait longer for it, made us even appreciate even more so. And again my main feeling on the film as a whole is that Infinity War is a great movie, but that said, as great as that is, this movie somehow kicks the crap out of Infinity War. And Infinity War is a great movie
Somehow.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. I want to make it clear again. Infinity War is not a bad movie. It's a great movie. That's what I'm saying. How good Endgame is. It's like it kicks the living crap out of Infinity War, despite it being a really good movie. It's like that's the best way I can put it, folks. Let me put it this way: the three acts. Without saying a word about them, without saying anything that happens within the three acts. The three acts. Based on the experience and then the reactions and stuff, I mean, Act One is kind of, let's just say that's the movie you've been sold on. Act One is the movie you've been sold on. Act Two is another movie. Each act almost feels like a different movie. You have act in the best of ways, and Act One is the one you paid the ticket for. Act Two is something else, and I mean that. And oh my god, Act Two is like how can it get any better? Act Two is basically it's kind of the reward at the end of the 10-year rainbow.
Act Two is basically where a lot of the whole like I can't believe I am seeing this on screen stuff happens.
Essentially, it's kind of imagine MCU Nirvana, and I don't mean the band. Well, I might as well use the band because they've been in the MCU. So the point being, it's MCU and Nirvana. It's kind of well, it is. That's kind. Essentially, that's kind of Act Two in terms of like it's a whole nother movie that is like I would see this movie if they just sold it on this movie already. I would see Act Two of this movie, and then Act Three that's where Act Three without saying a thing that happens in Act Three.
Act Three might be the single best hour of a comic book movie ever.
Act Three, put simply, is that's where every audience cheer was. I don't know, there was some a little bit in like Act One and so, but I'm saying Act Three though, there were like my hands were hurting and sweating during that because we were all just like clapping like crazy during so many moments. And Tiki, some moments I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
there were moments where I just lost my freaking mind with how great and how rewarding and how just everything you love about Marvel in a movie is this movie. It's oh god, it's
without giving anything away, without giving a single thing away about it.
Yes.
The ending of the movie, and I'm not talking about any pre or post credit stuff. The ending of this movie, the ending before we cut to credits, is just goddamn perfect.
It is.
The note we go out on is goddamn perfection.
Now, the one thing look, just to help people out here, I assume you're going to feel the same way I do about this here. Well, I guess I'll ask you, and you can be vague about it. So, of course, it's a 3-hour and 2-minute movie, and that, of course, led to some, of course, expecting some big post-credit stuff. So, I mean, there's mid and post-credit stuff for sure, but it's not, it's let me put it this way. I don't feel, again, if you're looking for like, again, let's just say, you're busting your back teeth are flowing, you're busting at the seams during the movie. Because I imagine everybody will, because always the bathroom warns. Like I actually had there was like a security guy at my theater because everyone's like worried about because it's packed to the rafters in the theater and everybody like, okay, guys, bathrooms are to your right. It's like, and they're preparing everybody for this 3 hour. They've been instructed, man. It's like almost the days of Hitchcock where you had to have the instructions for the movie going audience. It's almost like that. And I bring this up because, in my humble opinion, look, we have some cool stuff, but I mean, it's nothing like you can wait till DVD or like to the rewatch at least until you like. I'd wait if you're seeing this in theaters, you don't need the mid and post credit stuff. It's cool though. It's kind of like if you're a true blue Marvel fan, sure, but you don't really need it, especially if you're.
Well, how do you explain exactly what the post credits meant? I appreciated the mid credits, though. I think everyone should stay for the mid credits.
Like the mid look, okay, the mid credits is nice. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying, like, if you're just like you're there for the movie, and then again, I'm saying if anyone's like, and look at the very least, if someone's looking for a bathroom break, definitely do it during the credits. But again, the mid credits is really nice. The mid credits is
I feel like the mid credits is definitely worth staying for.
That's the thing. I mean, basically, if you're going to stay for the mid credits and the post credits, it's like a little. Let's just say it's a little nod. It's like a little nod that, I mean, again, unless you've been, again, you definitely want to know. I'm trying. I don't want to just say what it is. I mean, I don't even want to say what kind of thing. The point is, let's say it's. I fear that as great as this movie was, I fear that for many people, the post credits might be a little dissatisfying.
You know what? I was saying walking out of my theater with my friend, I was just like, no, I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like they could have just like, there could have been like a fart at the end of the credits, and I could have still been like, that's one of the biggest pop culture milestones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like they stuck to landing so much on the actual movie. I don't care about the mid-credit, post-credit. I really don't.
Yeah, it's like the post-credit's kind of nice and symbolic, but I mean, like, the point is, like, if you're one of the guys, like, checking your watch, like, oh, man, I want to get to this post-credit scene, it's like, well, you can probably go and be safe on that. So, yeah, it's neat, though. So I'd say if you're a true blue Marvel fan, then sure, stay through, at the very least, stay through the mid-credits. But, again, let's face it, it's like, it's not as impressive maybe some of the past, post and mid-credit scenes. Oh, well, one thing we should say though. Okay, one thing we should say is just in case. Again, I'm sure this is just this is like pretty much like a, hey, water is what kind of warning. But in case anyone hasn't seen, in case anyone hasn't heard about this or just hasn't been like kind of privy to this, because again, people have obviously seen Endgame at this point. So I'd hope, but again, without talking about anything, but let's just say you're definitely going to want to see, just to fill in some blanks, just to fill in some blanks. You're going to want to see the mid credit scene of Captain Marvel. I think it'd be a good idea for you to see that because it's kind of like just I'll say that much about it,
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you want like a fuller picture, again, you don't need it all, but it's like if basically just in case, like that's the main reason you should see Captain Marvel for that mid credit scene. If I'm being frank.
So that leads to a good transitioning point. I gotta tell you, Dragon, I'm still not 100% sold on Captain Marvel in this movie. I don't want to give away anything about what she does or how she factors in, but I was not entirely impressed with it.
Well, I mean, I'll admit, again,
I'll say this much: I was not impressed with it in a way of like, let's say, like, okay, like she was kind of dull in her solo movie, but maybe she'll work really well in a team dynamic. I didn't get that, Dragon. I still just kind of had my same general issues with her. And the writing on her, again, without giving it away, is a little bit OP.
Oh, look, I'll go as far as to say this, but again, without saying anything that happens. But let me put it this way. Captain Marvel in this movie is probably the best you're going to see her at this point, I guess, in the MCU so far. So basically, Endgame, I think, probably reflects her best, and it kind of better people might have said, but it's the Russos knowing what they're doing, and I think they brought out the best in her so far. Again, there's not really much there, but just as what we've seen so far, 2 movies. So, but it does kind of beg the question, like, really, David? Look, again, we said some people are really. Really mad on the Captain Marvel movie. Some people like Tiki and I were a lot more forgiving of it. It's like, it's fine. It was a fine movie. Just it wasn't.
Yeah, keep in mind when you say forgiving, it's like we didn't love it. We weren't like jumping up and down about it at all.
I'm saying, like, it's not tanking anything. It's just like,
yeah.
Like, it's like not one I'd. again, I might, that one I'd revisit often, if I revisit it. But point being, it's like a rung under, again, I love, we've been using the Doctor Strange comparison. That's kind of the effect here. Again, it's kind of like how, not to the same level of Infinity War, Doctor Strange, like the pinnacle of Doctor Strange stuff, one could say is Infinity War, and it's like not to the level we were hoping for. We get that camera, but she's really good. She has cool moments. Let's say that much. She has some really cool moments in the movie, and that's all we'll say about that. The point being, it begs the question: like, really, do we need like a whole movie of?
I mean, I'm kind of that's where I'm at too, Dragon.
Let me ask you this, Tiki. By comparison, you have. I want to compare Endgame just for a mere moment, given what we've done recently. You compare. Compare Batman Endgame, where we have the Batman Endgame, and breaking that up in Death of the Family of Zero Year in between. Zero Year, of course, definitely has like a little story that you don't necessarily need, but it definitely fleshes out and kind of sets things up for a lot of the payoffs in Endgame, for Batman Endgame, right?
Dude, my mind's spinning from this Avengers movie. Don't make me think about Batman right now. All right, I can only focus on one epic franchise at a time right now.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so the point being, so I guess anything else we really want to kind of tease up or about?
I've got like a minor, like I think it might be a nitpick, but I think it might be more than a nitpick. I think it might be like the singular problematic thing in the movie. I'm not going to give away exactly what it is, but I think you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it, all right?
Yeah, I memorized first viewing, man, my eyes were glued to that movie. I think I might know. What do you got?
Okay, there's a running joke involving a pivotal character that I really thought got old fast.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to say who the character is. I don't want to say what the joke entails or anything like that. I will say that when the joke first happened in the movie, I thought it was super funny. But as the movie went on, I was like, oh man, they're really committed to this, aren't they? Oh, I don't necessarily know if I like that.
Well, the only problem to me is that it could be one of two characters. That's the only thing that has me lost. You're gonna have to tell me when we go off air here who specifically you mean, because I'm thinking one of two characters that has kind of a running gag that I could see that might get on that might get old. But
Okay.
we'll dish later.
And then I also just as a minor nitpick, it's like, and this is just the case with every movie, and I just kind of want to make this like I'm not even like complaining here. But like, as with every movie of this scale with this many characters, there's going to be character interactions that you want to see and didn't get to see.
You're right. We didn't see that. Yeah, we didn't get that one. Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be moments that you want to have happen that you didn't. I don't even know what you're alluding to when you said that.
No, I know what you're thinking of, but for me, I had something else where it's like, what, that would have been really cool, but do I need it after what we got? No. What have got?
I mean, there's a big one that I'll talk about afterwards where I would have swapped out a character with another character. That's all I'll allude to without saying anything more.
I think for me, my moment kind of implied that it happened, but we didn't see it at all. So it's like, at least it kind of happened, but I mean, it never.
Right. But like I said, it's like that's not even like a nitpick. That's more just kind of like, wow, they didn't do what I wanted to see. You know what I mean? And at this point, with a movie that's just so jam-packed with fan service, and not only fan service, but really rich storytelling, and just having the weight of 22 films on its shoulders and still somehow delivering something that both stands on its own and is just a crazy conclusion to this whole thing. Dragon, I'm in awe. I really am in awe. I mean, it's I am very curious to see where the MCU goes from here. I definitely have some theories. I think they maybe need to pump the brakes on making Captain Marvel the MVP main star of the whole thing. I don't think I'd go that far yet. At this point, Dragon, I will say that the next MCU movie, regardless of anything that happens with the Fantastic Four or anything, the next MCU movie I'm really stoked for, at least out of the ones that have been announced, is definitely Guardians Volume 3.
Yes, I heard a recent development, but I'm questioning whether to share it or not. Because did you without saying what it is, did you hear the Feige announcement recently about kind of the slate of Marvel films?
No, I didn't. You'll have to.
Now it's not a. Sure, I guess we'll talk about it off air. But the point is that it does. I really don't think it's spoiled, but I won't say just to be on the safe side. So I guess we'll
I think I know what you might be talking about, and I don't know, it might be a spoiler.
Yeah, it's fair. I guess we'll bring it either on the spoiler cast or just like afterwards.
Yeah.
The point is, well, anyways, so let's see. Yeah, I mean, I have one gripe with the movie. It's a gripe that, again, it's kind of self-solving because it's the age-old kind of thing we kind of have with Infinity War and vice versa. You know, with a number of Marvel movies, where it's like, you know, it's not even a problem. It's like there's a point where you need continuity built up. Obviously, if you jumped in this as your first film, I think you have a good time with it. It might be lost on a few
Okay,
things.
honestly, I think this is a more accessible film than Infinity War.
And I'd agree with you there. I'd agree that this is more
like
accessible.
Infinity War like expects you to know all these characters, who they are, without really giving them a balance of screen time. I feel like this does a better job of like kind of like setting the stage, you know, like kind of slowly introducing who everyone is. Not everyone involved in this movie even gets a speaking line.
Yeah.
But I would say practically everyone involved in this movie at least gets a moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just like, again, it's something I've kind of alluded to here, but I just don't want to risk spoiling anything in the events. The point being, like, yeah, I agree. Basically, mine's like one moment in the movie that kind of makes me, basically, one realization I had during the movie that makes me think, like, you know what? Again, I think basically I agree with you. What you said that again, this movie does kind of stand better on its own than Infinity War, with the exception of one moment that kind of. Again, I say it as a quibble because you take it out of the equation, I think you're going to be fine. But it's like, you know, it just kind of fills in the blanks a little. That's all. Anyway, so that's all I'll say.
All right. So, folks, we're out of the end game, and we just have the future to look forward to. And now, importantly, folks, of course, to kind of give the schedule out, tomorrow, I'm sorry, we will not be talking Endgame. We will be talking the Gotham series finale, which is definitely an Endgame in its own right. We need to get the ball rolling on that while it's still hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday, Dragon Sunday, after I get back from seeing Jesus Christ Superstar, which you know I'm really excited about, Sunday, we are going to be doing our big Endgame spoiler cast. And Dragon, I'm relying on you to I don't know how the hell we're gonna do that one, man. I don't know. I don't know. That's just, it's a challenge in its own right to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I have some ideas. We'll see. I guess we'll have to facilitate some of those. We'll have to figure that out a little bit. But I have some ideas. But the point is, folks, it's gonna be big. Endgame.
So yeah, folks. Ooh, man. That was something. That was something.
Special.
All right. See you guys later.